Welcome to the Montego Municipal Regional Planning Commission meeting, July 1. Roll call. Alec Mosley. Here. Greg Maloof. Here. Dan Sargent. Here. Dan Brown. Here. Ed Provo. Katie Trahan.
Here.
And Rich Black. Okay. Staff reports. Minutes. Let me approve the minutes. I'm sorry. And has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any changes, modifications?
I move to accept the minutes as accepted.
We have a motion. Do I have a second? We have a second. All those for?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now, Jonathan.
Let's see. I've not had any updates yet on the Hampton Inn site plan. I think they're still trying to figure out the sewer easement agreement because that's been an issue for them. But hopefully, once they get that resolved, we'll have that site plan back on an agenda. Let's see, Montego Church of Christ, which is it's at the corner of they're wanting to put a new church at the corner of Bennett Street and DuBose at their property there. And so they have submitted a site plan, so that should be on next month's agenda. And then I've had various calls and different things about just zoning related issues of what they can do. I think there was one for, they wanted to know about subdivision in Cooley's Rift and how that would work. So I was talking through that process a little bit.
Okay.
Just, minor subdivision.
Thank you, Jonathan. Our first order of old business is the rezoning tax map 107F, Group C, parcels 0003, 01, 00400, from RC and C1 to C2. Mr. Lake?
Oh, I went through that, I thought.
You didn't send that to me.
What, didn't?
I believe it was tabled last month.
It was tabled.
And then because there was conversation that
Well,
that
Joe
meeting-
Lester's name was on there, and I said, and they didn't sign up, so I haven't got to meet with him yet.
So do you want to
If we could delay that.
withdraw it?
Yeah.
Today's meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've got to meet with Hartman.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about this and the expectation that it'll be met for us? I'm looking at this plat that you've provided us.
So the reason,
agenda, and it looks like there are 4 tracks there. I mean, the lines, or is one of those lines just a boundary of a zoning district?
I own 3 tracks, there's 3
Yes,
tracks.
I think it's a boundary of a zoning district.
So one of the tracks is partially in R1 and partially in C1?
Yes. And I think he's saying that the Hartmans, which is the big R1 that you see on the top, they're wanting to.
Well, they're just, not hard, but they're not worried about that. That was where they were going to do that development. The lot right adjacent to me going toward the liquor store, it L's out there and joins.
Okay.
And that was the portion that they wanted.
Okay.
But we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dean has asked that it be withdrawn. So you guys will not
If I
make a
may,
decision
just
tonight.
for clarity, is this on College Street and Old 41?
Yeah.
With the monument offices?
Property that you want on.
Well, yeah, now the monument, okay.
Yeah.
And the metal building
Yeah,
behind?
there's 3 parcels in that. 3 different tracks. And,
Which I owned at one time
Yes.
because
Yeah,
there was
no, he's
the house,
basically
the
through what you guys
hairdresser,
can
and the
make
metal
this.
building and all that. That's the only parcel we're talking about, not your,
No, I was originally, we were going to try to put it all in the same, in the C2 like it is across the street and like it is, well, I think it's C1 all the way down to McDonald's, I think.
Do you want to come show us?
Yeah, it is all the way down to McDonald's.
Yeah. So this is, I have 3 parcels here. I guess this is the zoning line that comes through. So R1 is in two of my tracks, I think. Maybe all 3.
Yeah, it's just two, so you
Okay,
have
okay.
004 and
This is divided
003.01.
between R1 and C1.
Yeah, the residence is up
Yeah, this
front.
lot actually comes all the way, the boundary line of this lot is actually comes up and L's over. If you look at a parcel on the Green County.
Just like that.
Yes, yeah. And then West College actually comes down to the end, used to go all the way through, and the previous administration just blocked it off and sold it to the liquor store and the motel and all that, so there's no access back out on the main road. And then the Harton property is about 35 acres or so back here, but it comes up and includes this right here. Is Harton's there, and then this is the liquor store, and then you've got the motel, and then you've got
McDonald's and the gas
This
station.
is wooded, not developed.
No, this is clear. This was there's an old roadway
Yeah.
that goes through there. The sewer line goes down through there. There's trees on my property line, just some trees there, but
Yes.
it's kind of like an alleyway through there. And then when they did the fill from the interstate years ago, they filled this lot in. Well, actually, they filled where the motel is too. All that was filled with the big rock and stuff. And so,
There used to be a toll road back there too, along with
yeah, so that was
buildings.
part of the Payne, RL Payne.
Something,
Yeah, because I bought a portion of that property and ended up selling that to the Hartons.
which has since been abandoned.
Yeah,
as a
that
road.
was why they were going to put their entrance or exit on 41, because I let them have a little strip through there.
Yes.
And, but anyway, as you can see, it's, I'll just get with them and then we'll deal with that at a later date. And originally here, the old VFW property, all that I think was changed to institutional.
The assembly owns the old VFW.
Yeah, but I think all of their property.
Therefore,
was
their
changed.
property was
Uh,
institutional.
Yeah, and so I don't think this is accurate right now.
Yeah, that, I don't know.
So the front of your properties are C1.
Yes,
Are you wanting to change it from C1 to C2?
yes,
Because the application says C1.
well,
It was filled out by you, and then,
Well, I filled it out.
It's changing from
No.
C1 to C2.
Yeah, so you
I
put,
put that down,
it says
I
current
approved it.
zoning R1 and C1, and he wanted to change it to C2, both zoning.
uh,
So he has,
all right.
yeah,
But you're gonna withdraw it today and then come back at a later
yes,
date.
I've got to get with the Harton family group there, Mr. Lester's, the guy that represents them, and I talked to the liquor store guy and all them, and actually, there's some discussion of waiting to see what the Imagine Mont Eagle thing ultimately turns out to do. But for years, and it's been changed several times, and I know it was changed correctly sometimes it was not, but originally, C1 stopped at US 41, and it stopped out here at what we used to call Highway 56. It's now 41 too, I guess, it's 41A or whatever it is. Then my argument was that really, it's an interchange area, and of course over here you've got C2. But anyway, we're not dealing with that, so y'all need to.
Right, we'll deal with that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Well, for the record, we'll withdraw and you can get with Jonathan when you
Yes.
want to get back on.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Mr. Blake. Okay, any other properly presented old business? Okay. Next, I think these next two are combined Mountain Goat Trail minor plat variance and another minor plat with septic.
yes. if you,
So after discussing the plat with Travis Wilson, we've decided we'd like to withdraw this proposal also for this meeting. We're going to have to change the plat and bring it back hopefully at the next meeting.
Accepted?
Yes.
So that takes care of A and B.
Yes, because it would have required a variance first and then approval of the plat. And we probably will require a variance still next month, but they want to make sure everything is correct with the plat before they proceed.
Okay, and you'll get with Jonathan when you want to get back on the agenda.
Will do.
Discussion on signature blocks on plats for urban growth boundary.
Yes, this was brought up by Katie last month. She asked that it be put on this month's agenda, so I put it there. And this one talk, I think the main concern that she had was particularly the road certificate, I think is in urban growth boundary, the town's road super is not going to sign off in urban growth boundary because that's not Monteagle town roads.
I have been in conversation about this. One of the issues with Mountain Goat Trail is the road that borders their trail happens to be a state highway. I'm talking to the road superintendent for the town. We're only signing acknowledgement of town roads only, not county and not state. So therefore, we did not sign on the Tracy City Highway. So I think the signature block should be corrected, either not applicable or removed from those plats, if that's in line with your.
And that's, I think the main thing Katie's concern is when she does staff approved plats, you know, and again, if that's the thing, I would say, I know other municipalities, we just have an NA, but then we have the planning commission secretary recognizes NA, particularly if the town doesn't.
Are you comfortable with that? If they do that
the only-
line NA?
So, so am I supposed to do the NA and then sign?
Yeah, basically it's just acknowledgement somebody from the planning commission or the planning commission has recognized this is not applicable.
If I may, if
The
it's a
street
signature,
superintendent sign it, and since that's the person who's declining to.
that's what I say.
And they
should
could
say
also do that too.
NA, because
Yeah,
no one knows the roads other than the road superintendent, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
To put the secretary in that position wouldn't be right.
yeah, so you can
So-
have that, or we could do maybe an amendment to the subregs where it says, I would have to phrase it correctly, maybe talk to Chad to see maybe
I
some
mean,
way to.
procedurally, can we solve the problem just by NA?
Yes, you can. I think that's what we did for our last
If it's not a
plat.
town road, we don't want to sign it.
Yeah.
And I think the street department is the proper outfit. to
I
do that.
agree.
I do
Yes.
too. If it's going to have to be handwritten,
Yeah.
I think the street department should, and then they should sign
Yeah.
that they have written the NA, because then otherwise, who did that? And then I'm signing that I've approved the NA, and we don't know who wrote that NA.
Yeah.
Or in the future, whoever the secretary is.
Yeah.
And you need a trail of who did that.
They could even have a pretty inexpensive stamp that says not applicable on the street department.
Yeah.
if they want.
I was going to go a step further and just label the road state highway not applicable,
Yeah.
or county road not applicable, but I'm happy to work with anything the Secretary, Mr. Moser, is comfortable.
And of course, that goes into considerations when you're, in the urban growth boundary, I don't know when it will, if it will ever happen, but obviously your urban growth boundary is huge. I mean, it goes all the way, it goes all the way up this way. And obviously, there's a few lots there. If somebody wants to make, a major subdivision, now you're starting to regulate something that you're not necessarily, you don't have a lot of control over. I mean, you'd probably supply water, but you wouldn't have any control over the roads because it would be county roads. So that's where they may end up being private roads. And then that may be something in the future we're going to look at. I would have to look through your standards and see if you have any private road standards, but I don't know if you do have private roads.
This was mentioned, as I recall, last month, and I think we should resolve the issue as far as urban
Yeah.
growth boundaries, because I'm not sure if how far are we going to provide water and
Yeah.
or sewer.
Exactly.
That's why I'm not sure that we would.
I
do
know in
that.
particular, so on the Marion side, Marion would just take over all the subdivisions that would happen there because they have their own planning commission. They have, they have all this stuff. Grundy does not have a planning commission. They don't have subregs. I'm 95% sure they don't have building permits. So there's not really a lot that would regulate in Grundy, and then Franklin has their own thing, but we really barely do anything in Franklin because it's only a small portion of Monteagle.
Should be looked at one day, I would imagine.
Yeah, and again, I think the state has also tossed the last few years of just abandoning urban growth boundaries in general because it defeated the purpose of the urban growth boundaries. No longer really serve a purpose in terms of what its original intent was to kind of make sure this is as far as you can grow, because you could do annexation by ordinance. Now you can't. You have to get, property owners approval or a referendum by the property owners.
Katie, are you satisfied?
Well, I mean, I do think in the short term, unless we address urban growth boundaries on a larger,
And I can, if that's something, I can talk with Chad, see the pros and cons and bring through that in terms of, because I know some planning, so like, for example, Jasper does not exercise authority, in their urban growth boundaries. So Marion does all this, any subdivisions there. But then there potentially might be pitfalls to not exercising your authority in the urban growth boundary. So I can talk with Chad and see what the pros and cons of that is. And, obviously.
Back to us next month.
I think that would be good. But we can do kind of the same thing. If it's not in the city limits, we can do the exact same thing, and the same if it's in an area that has private roads, the exact same things for streets.
Like Cooley's Rip.
Could you review all that, if I may, Mr. Chairman, with
Yeah.
Chad, and get back to us next month?
Yeah.
Because as you know, the town has a road list which needs to be updated, granted, but we have roads that are in the city limits, improved and unimproved. So that should be looked at as well.
So,
When we did urban growth boundaries, like Jonathan said, it was, everybody was annexing crazy, so the state passed, and we all did that. But in Grundy County, I feel like it's very important to maintain the urban growth boundary. If you go out Clouds Hill Road or Summerfield Road now, and look, like where Timberwood is and stuff, that's in the urban growth boundary, and they came through and came before the planning commission and submitted their plans and stuff. And if you look right across the road and drive up through there, that is not our urban growth boundary. And you look at the difference between the right-hand side of the road and the left-hand side of the road.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks for itself.
hold on, I'll take it.
And again, that's the cons of abandoning authority. That's where
So
you
I'm
put
not
in.
saying jump
Yeah.
on.
No, I
the
wasn't implying that, but for instance, on out, we went to the end of Summerfield Road, turned left, and went down in Payne's Cove to a certain elevation point. I don't know if it's 1,500 or whatever it is. And the reason that became an issue was with the farmers. We were originally going to go to the foot, and the farmers down there didn't want that coming up. So Boo Bolden was the county mayor, and they all agreed and worked out a thing to where it was a certain elevation point. But the development out there from what I call the Reeder Farm, there was a company came in here and subdivided and came before the planning commission and got all that done. And then when it come down to the water lines and stuff, they actually put them in, but at the time we were in a drought. And so we relinquished that territory and gave that to the Tracy City Utility District. And so it's in our urban growth boundary, but we relinquished the water service to Tracy City Public Utility. And then even there, I think it's Timberwood, I think one of those, we buy water from Tracy and then sell it to the customers. Is it Timberwood, Mayor? I think.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of how that can turn out if you don't have.
Dean makes really good points. Like I said, like Marion, the Marion portion, it'll just be Marion County does it, and they have subregs. I believe they have building permits. So it's going to be more regulated on the Marion side. The Grundy side, it's not going to be as regulated because there aren't any regulations currently.
And that's a hot area right now for development. There've been several tracts sold, some 30-acre tracts, some 100-acre tracts. And some of them are just investment tracts, and some of them, I know one guy that he bought some property from the Harton family, and he's fixing to build houses, and I told him, I said, you got to go for a planning committee. And he said, no, I'm not in the city. He said, I'm gonna build what I want, how I want it. And I said, no, you're not.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's the.
But, okay, so we have solved the problem of the necessity of signing the street document street certification on the plat that Katie was asking about.
I'm satisfied that it be the road commissioner of Mount Eagle for Mount Eagle Roads, NA with that signature.
Yes. And as far as the water portion, I think John is paying a lot of attention and consulting and making sure that he's getting engineering.
Well, that's it. All water and sewer and anything else utility for water and sewer, probably stormwater, should be first analyzed by our engineer, which is what Jonathan and I have been working on, because we don't want to approve something and then there's no water, no sewer, or this was wrong or that was wrong.
Yeah,
So that-
and he is doing a good job with that now, I think.
Yes,
Do you all need to make a motion and have a vote to make the NA thing official, or can that be just adopted by discussion?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's in the record.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, again, I think you can, I don't know if you necessarily have to make a motion to do that. I think you can do that and make a motion, so that way it's officially in the record that you want the town road inspector to be the one to do that. Because it's not changing anything in subregs, but that's where I would say I don't think a motion is necessary, because they're not actually changing anything in the subregs. But yeah, I mean, that's just something that's traditionally done. I mean, it's whoever's in charge of that. So on the actual certificate, it says the town road inspector. So he would just say NA.
I move that the town staff complete the certification relating to roads which are county or state roads, signifying that their approval is not applicable with a signature before the secretary is asked to sign the plan.
Do I have a second?
second.
All those for?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
I'm just thinking of future council sitting up there, future things that are going to go on. Hang on, when did that happen? We've run into that before, so I think it's good to have a motion.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher.
Any other properly presented new business? Okay. Well, before we adjourn, I hope everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July, Independence Day. I think the parade starts at 10.
10 o'clock, we form at 9 at the flea market across from McDonald's, or near the 134 interchange. Right, Mr. Lay, is that what you decided?
C1 or C2?
That's a C6.5. But yes, it's 10 o'clock, step off for the parade. Thank you so much for your help, Mr. Lay.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion?
I move we adjourn.
All those for?
Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Speak now.
No, forget that. We are adjourned.
Thank y'all.